Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Midcard Mess podcast. I am your host, not one, not two, but all three faces of Jamal, and this is your wrestling news. It is January 19th, 2025. We are 19 days strong into the new year, and this is the first major TNA pay-per-view that they got going on. So, this is going to be a big deal for TNA Impact. I hope that the show is going to be good. This is just me doing the preview to the show. It's about in a couple hours or so. So I'm just going to get down to the brass tacks and get right to it. There's going to be Frankie Kazarian versus Leon Slater. Leon Slater has been on a tear lately, and Frankie Kazarian has been trying to give him the quote-unquote rub. But at the same token, it's just like Leon Slater has just, especially this last week, that he had an amazing match with Trent Seven. I don't know how he ended up beating Trent Seven, but that boy Leon Slater is just kind of good like that. So, the reason why Frankie Kazarian and Leon Slater is going to have this match during their little encounter is because Frankie Kazarian tried to get him under the quote-unquote learning tree of Frankie Kazarian, but Leon Slater wasn't having none of it. He saw right through his antics and everything like that. So, this is going to be just a little... It's not a big grudge match. It's just a small one. And can Leon Slater prove that he doesn't need the help of Frankie Kazarian? Or is Frankie Kazarian just going to show the new kid what's going on in the world of professional wrestling and why he should have took his advice and, why it was a big mistake not to, get his services or use his advice and everything like that. Then next we have The System, Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers versus Steve Maclin and Eric Young. These teams have been beefing since Final Resolution. I mean, everything that The System has done up to this point has just been, I don't want to say dastardly or anything like that, but, they really ran amok in 2024, and I guess that they're trying to end everything of that nature. So, it is going to be a great little tag team match. Now, the caveat to this is going to be, can Steve Maclin and Eric Young truly, honestly work together well? Which, if we watched last week on TNA Impact, that they did work together well, but it's who's the leader, who's in charge, basically. And even though we didn't see too much of them clashing with their styles and everything like that, The System is a known commodity. The System is a known system, and they work well as a system. So it's just going to be kind of interesting to see. Next, we have the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championship. Spitfire, Jody Threat, and Danny Luna versus Ash by Elegance and Heather by Elegance. So we already seen Ash and Heather Elegance with this Elegance stable, whatever you want to call it. They cut probably one of the worst promos in wrestling history, and it was such a slog that it made me not want to care about this match. The only thing that I care about is actually the TNA Knockouts. The TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championships, right? They're the ones that's really suffering because of the weak title run that Jody Threat and Danny Luna has had with the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championships. It's a weak run, and they're going against even weaker fucking competition. I don't, man, it was just a slog to get through all the time. So I don't know, man. This match is, it could be a sleeper. It could be a sleeper. When I say a sleeper, I'm not talking about the match is so boring, put me to sleep. No, what I mean by we're sleeping on it because of the bad build of this match. The match wasn't really built really well, and even these hoes, they decided that they were going to do a celebration before they even won the titles. They didn't even win the titles yet. They're doing celebrations without winning any fucking titles. What's wrong with them? And you gave me a 8 or 15 minute freaking thing on television, and it just took me out and really did not want to see anything that any of these females have to offer when it pertains to this match. So, like, you know, the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championships are really the ones that's suffering from the weak build here. But, you know, in my opinion, Spitfire is going to win this one. But, you know, Ash and Heather by Elegance, they do have their little butler. Oh, excuse me. They do have their little butler guy that's gonna, you know, gas them up and be glazing them on wild accounts. So that's gonna be, yeah. Hopefully that match ends quickly, for the sake of most of us and stuff like that. I mean, there's no denying that Spitfire, Jody Threat, and Danny Luna, they're good individuals and they're okay as a tag team. Ash by Elegance, I've been waiting for her to do something since WWE when she was Dana Brooke, and she's disappointed me time after time after time after time after time after time. Like, I'm over it. I'm over it by now. And, you know, Heather is gonna follow in suit. Oh, excuse me. Heather's gonna follow in suit, so that's just gonna be the way that the cookie crumbles. Yeah, I've already talked enough about this match, so like let's get it moving on to a match I actually want to see. To a match that I actually want to see, which is Josh Alexander, Mike Santana, I Quit match. Now, Josh Alexander and the Northern Armory have been a thorn in Mike Santana's side for the better part of a month now. And, you know, through gauntlet matches and sneak attacks and everything of that nature, Josh Alexander wants to let Mike Santana know. Josh Alexander wants to let Mike Santana know that TNA is his and it will always be his, and he's the standard bearer. He's the TNA guy. He is Mr. TNA. But don't let Moose let you hear him say that shit. But at the end of the day, like, you know, he did talk about he wanted to be like the one that they talk about when they talk about TNA. Mike Santana, a former TNA superstar himself, he already knows the vibes. Like, you know, he wants to be the one that leads TNA to the new direction. And especially with this merger deal, a lot of guys are vying to be the TNA guy, so that way when they do end up going on like WWE television or doing any type of crossover promotion with any promotion, then they'll be able to you know, put their face on that tag and everything like that. So as opposed to who's gonna win this match, man, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, Mike Santana is a tough cookie to crack, but I've seen Josh Alexander go through some rigorous things. I mean, even losing the TNA championship to the Call Your Shot championship trophy that Moose had a couple years back, and then became the TNA heavyweight champion. So, you know, that's going to be a crazy one. I don't see Mike Santana's quitting. I don't see Josh Alexander quitting. This is going to be a barn burner, to say the least. Yeah, man, I really don't. Like, whoever wins at this. The fans win with this match. Let's call a spade a spade. The fans is going to win with this match. The next match on the docket is going to be the TNA X Division Championship. You have Moose and you have my boy Ace Austin. It's inevitable that Ace Austin will walk out as the TNA X Division champion. You heard it here first. You know, with the support of, you know, Chris Bay being injured, with the support of the fans. I mean, like, he's really traveled all across the globe and has been doing, like, you know, the main thing by himself. But once him and Chris Bay formed Bullet Club, well, not formed Bullet Club, but like they were both in Bullet Club at the same weight class, at the same dojo times and everything of that nature, then, like, you already know the vibes when it comes to Ace Austin doing shit for Bay. We here at the Midcard Mess Podcast do wish Chris Bay a very speedy recovery time, and hopefully Ace Austin gets to seal the deal and become your new X Division champion. But, you know, we cannot negate and we won't negate the fact that, you know, Moose is bringing something very different to the X Division, and it's not just size, it's not just power, it's not just speed, it's not just X Division with no limits. It's Moose is a hot commodity when it comes to pushing the TNA brand. Moose as X Division champion has been nothing but good for the X Division as a whole, because it makes it look more I don't want to say that it makes it look more credible, because the X Division has been credible for a long time. It's basically the backbone of TNA. But yeah, man, like, seeing a guy like Moose with that title is just one of those things where it's like the sky is the limit for a no limit division. So, Moose and Ace Austin is gonna probably be my match of the night based off of what is looking like on paper. So, that's what I hope Ace Austin wins this match. I really do, because like with Moose, like, I really don't trust the system. Like, talk about it, but at the same token, it's just one of those things that just got to get done, I suppose. So, Moose pushing the brand. Even if Ace Austin loses this match, at least Moose is gonna make the X Division more viable, more credible, more. There's gonna be more allure to it than there already is. It has a rich history with great champions such as AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe's. Like, there's been some great X Division champions. So, yeah. All right, so the Rascals finally get their title shot against Matt and Jeff Hardy. The TNA Tag Team Championship is on the line. Team Extreme versus the Rascals. Zachary Wentz and Trey Miguel, they've been, going through the tag division as of late, and they've been crushing it. But can they defeat the old and battered, Matt and Jeff Hardy over here? Now, I know I've been saying this on this channel a lot about, guys that need to pack it up. Matt and Jeff, they kind of are there to pack it the fuck up, but at the same token, it's always good to see them in the ring. It's just that, they're fucking old as hell, bro. Like, I don't need Matt to break a bone. I don't need Jeff to fucking break his hip. I don't need him to do swanton bonds off of stage dives and all this other stuff. I mean, the niggas is like 40 years old or 50 years old. Like, damn, like, it's over. The run is done. The run is done. Let them let right into the sunset. Enjoy your children. Enjoy your wives. Like, man, the run is done. So I wouldn't be too upset at Zachary Wentz and Trey Miguel winning the TNA Tag Team Championships tonight. Here comes a grudge match that I've been waiting to see for a minute, ever since like Tessa Blanchard came back. So Jordynne Grace versus Tessa Blanchard. Shit really just got personal. It really is personal at this point, because it's Tessa Blanchard's return match. Essentially, like, she's returned to TNA. Jordynne Grace, who's been holding it down. Oh, excuse me. Has been holding it down in the women's division for a better part of like 3 or 4 years now. And like, when I think of TNA wrestling women's division, I'm thinking Jordynne Grace. It used to be Tessa Blanchard. I mean, let's just keep it a stack. Tessa Blanchard is the first and only female that has won a world title, right? Yeah, like she beat Sami Callihan at freaking Hard to Kill a couple of years back, and then just, it was insane to me that, this woman won the world championship, and she was winning matches against niggas, like, but at the same token, it's just like, there's been a lot of people that's not in Tessa Blanchard's corner when it pertains to how she is as a character outside the ring, myself included. I don't like the fact that, I mean, like, she dated Ricochet for a time, if that tells you any fucking thing. Even then, like back then when she married Daga, a pro wrestler that's in CMLL and AAA in Japan, she cheated on Daga. She cheated on him, no fucking reason whatsoever, whatever not. It's just like, I don't want to fucking disparage anybody on the channel, but like, geez, man, like, you could have like just regularly divorced him or something like that. You didn't have to fucking go grab cock and shit like that. Like, it's kind of crazy. But, and then there's also the racist thing that she did in Japan, which she still hasn't really truly apologized for. Like, what I'm saying? Tasha Steelz was there. Chelsea Green was there. Freaking a whole bunch of other wrestlers was there when she made racist negative remarks. And apology can go a long way, but unless you do it, then I don't know what to fucking tell you. So there's a lot of people that's very resentful for that. But as opposed to Tessa Blanchard right now, concurrently, she's in the women's division. She's in TNA, whether I like it or not, or whether anybody likes it or not. She's part of that division. And, as a wrestler, I'm excited to see anything that she has to do. I just wish that she was kind of a better human at the end of the day. And again, I'm not trying to disparage her character or anything like that, but at the same token, this is the evidence is there. So if you don't believe me, just look it up. Google that shit. You could look at it yourself. But making it personal against Jordynne Grace, who has been a flag bearer of TNA as of late. She's been working her ass off. She's worked her tail off and fucking just doing the damn thing. TNA Knockouts champion. She wrestled on NXT representing TNA. She's went to the Royal Rumble representing TNA. It's great to see. And now with this merger, with not merger, but this partnership that they have with TNA, who knows what's gonna end up happening at any conjuncture, at any pay-per-view. So TNA is now more important. You got the WWE pay-per-view is going to happen. Are we going to see more TNA stars go over and cross over? I don't know, man. It's just, it's crazy. Imagine Charlotte Flair shows up at fucking TNA as a first match back or whatever. Not imagine a Tessa Blanchard or Jordynne. I mean, we've seen Jordynne Grace go over there, but a Tasha Steelz showing up and looking at freaking Tiffany Stratton or freaking Liv Morgan and looking them up and down and stuff like that. So it's a thing. I'm glad to see that the women's division in TNA is healthy. The women's division in TNA is thriving. So that's going to be the very gist of this grudge match. And who knows, maybe one of these women can end up challenging whoever wins this next match that I'm about to talk about, which is the Clockwork Orange House of Fun match, Masha Slamovich versus Rosemary for the TNA Women's Knockouts Championship. And talk about a title that has a big history behind it, Mickie James, Victoria, Tessa Blanchard, freaking there's so many great women that have won this belt. Jordynne Grace, I mean, Gail Kim, Angelina Love, they've all held the TNA. I mean, Chelsea Green too. So, yeah, man, this Clockhouse Orange, a fun whatever match is gonna happen. This is basically Raven's Monsters Ball, but with females, and I'm actually really, 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 really excited to see this match. I just hope that it's not on some delete shit or the deletion, or it's not a cinematic kind of match. Excuse me. I hope that it's a match that does have weapons. There's an element of hardcore to it and stuff like that. But I want to physically see them in the ring and not out in the back behind the camera and all that other stuff. So, just hopefully that's not the type of match that they are going to be portraying, the type of match that they're going to be doing. And I really would not care to see the third party angle television drama TV show type shit. I don't want to see that in this match. I want to see blood and guts. I want to see violence. I want to see Masha do what she do. I think Masha's gonna win, but that's just my personal opinion. They could pin it on Rosemary. Rosemary has been a long time since she's been TNA Knockouts Women's Champion for a long time. So we'll see. Then the main event of the evening, we got Nick Nemeth, aka Dolph Ziggler, or as my freaking sister would like to say, Ziggles, Dolph Ziggles, or Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth. Let's put respect on the champion's name. He is the TNA Heavyweight Champion. So Nick Nemeth versus, say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. Yo, man, like Joe Hendry has got to be the biggest underdog I've ever freaking seen. I mean, I remember when Joe Hendry was just your local hero out in WCPW. Him and Gabe Kidd used to fucking beat the shit out of each other. I remember when Joe Hendry was part of this group called The Prestige, and that made me a fan way long time ago. So, it is what it is. Like, The Prestige was very short lived. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, the Prestige was what? It was Joe Coffey. It was Joe Hendry. It was Joe Coffey, Joe Hendry, Tiger. El Ligero, and freaking Travis Banks, and they like ruled the ring for a time. So, is it Joe Hendry's time? Is it Joe Hendry's time to win the TNA Heavyweight Championship? I think it's time to pull the trigger and then let him run with the belt and let him be the champion that everybody knows that he can be. They might not let him do it. They might just let Nick Nemeth continue doing what he's doing. I mean, it's been really incredible to see Nick Nemeth become a world champion outside of WWE. Yeah, man, like it's a thing. So, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know how I'm going to feel about this match. I don't know how I'm going to feel about this whole event. But I will be definitely watching in about a couple hours from now. Just if you guys have not yet, go to TNA, subscribe, TNA Plus. That's where you can catch it. You can see all the matches all the time. You could see old TNA Genesis pay-per-views. You could see Final Resolution that happened in December. It has every TNA event ever was and every TNA event that there ever will be. So, all right, I'm going to leave you guys with that. Peep out TNA Genesis tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central. I'll see you guys on the next one with Monday Night Raw preview tomorrow and the results of TNA Genesis tonight. So with that, one more thing before I go. I want to thank everybody that is listening, liking, sharing, subscribing. I did see a little uptick, not a whole bunch, but a little bit of uptick, and that's thanks to you guys. So, yeah, man, thank you for supporting me and this wrestling thing, and I hope I see you guys on the next one. So, peace.